How's it going, everybody? My name is James and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Cummins engines that are in the Ram trucks. We're going to start with the 12 valve 5.9 liter and go to the 24 valve 6.7 liter. Stay tuned for more. Chrysler would start the Ram pickup line in 1981. However, the first Cummins engine, the B series, would not be put into a Ram truck until 1989. That first Cummins engine would be a 12 valve 5.9 liter or 359 cubic inch turbo diesel inline 6. It would be direct injection and it had a VE injection pump. At first it would make 160 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque and would not be intercooled until 1991 and a half. This model of engine would last until 1993 when they upgraded the engine. The next generation of Cummins engines would be from 1994 to 1998. It would start making 175 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque. The biggest difference between this generation and the previous generation would be in the injection pump. The previous generation used the VE injection pump, while this generation uses the P7100 injection pump. And the P7100 injection pump is known for making a lot of power and is very desirable. Also, for this generation, they started using different torque numbers for manual and automatic transmissions, and there was also an issue with the upper dowel pin in these motors. And another kind of milestone would be in 1996, they started producing the engines with 200 horsepower. The next generation of Cummins engines would be from 1998 and a half to 2002. These engines would start with producing 235 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque. They would still be a 5.9 liter turbo diesel inline 6, however, this would be the first generation where they used the 24 valve head. Also, they changed the injection pump to the first electronic injection pump, which would be the VP44. Now this pump is a little bit controversial. Some people don't like it at all, some people think it's just fine. It really just depends on what you're going to do with the truck. There were also other upgrades, like having stiffer valve springs, having an upgraded turbo, and having a stiffer engine block. And then in 2001, they were able to hit over 500 foot-pounds of torque, and an issue with these engines with this generation would be that there were some blocks that were stamped with the 53, and the issue with these blocks were that they cracked or had the possibility of cracking, and those would be from the years 1998 to 2001. So if you're looking to buy a truck that is a 1998, 1999, 2000, or 2001, you really want to look for that 53 stamp in a block, and if it has that, you want to avoid that truck. Then, the generation from 2003 to 2007 and a half started with producing 305 horsepower and 555 foot-pounds of torque. This engine was still a 5.9 liter turbo diesel inline 6 with the 24 valve head. However, the most significant difference would be in the injection system. It would start using a high pressure common rail system with the Bosch CP3 pump, and this common rail system would really make the trucks more refined and kind of easier to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Other upgrades included an upgraded turbo and a stronger engine block with a bed plate. And in 2004 and a half, the engine started producing 600 foot-pounds of torque. And in my opinion, this generation of Cummins engines is really the best balance between refinement, reliability, and ease of making horsepower. From 2007 and a half to 2009 would be the next generation. This was when Cummins upgraded the displacement from 5.9 liters to 6.7 liters, or 408 cubic inches. And another upgrade would be having a BGT turbo. However, there were some similarities from the old generations, like having a 24 valve head and still using common rail injection. These engines started with producing 350 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque. However, there were also some emissions equipment that were added to the engines, like a DPF or diesel particulate filter. The fourth generation of Ram trucks would be from 2010 to present. This was when Chrysler changed the branding of the trucks from Dodge Ram to just Ram. The 6.7 liter Cummins would remain mainly the same as the previous generation with the same horsepower and torque. However, for 2011, they would bump up the torque to 800 foot-pounds. Then in 2013, the truck would get a facelift, and the body would remain mainly the same. However, the Cummins engine would come with an additional emission system called DEF, or diesel exhaust fluid. Also, the ASIN heavy-duty transmission would become an option. Then for 2018, when this video was made, the highest output Cummins would produce 385 horsepower and 930 foot-pounds of torque. Thank you for watching the video, and please consider subscribing.